By now, you've all heard of Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0, the latest book published by Mama Jumbo Shrimp. It's more than just another wine book. The fully updated second edition was inspired by students of the Vinitaly International Academy and painstakingly reviewed and revised by an expert panel of certified Italian wine ambassadors from across the globe. The book also includes an edition by Professore Attilio Scienza, Italy's leading vine geneticist. The benchmark producers feature is a particularly important aspect of this revised edition. The selection makes it easier for our readers to get their hands on a bottle of wine that truly represents a particular grape or region. To pick up a copy, just head to Amazon.com or visit us at mamajumboshrimp.com.
Welcome to The Next Generation. I'm Victoria Cece. Join me as we chat with young Italian wine people shaking up the wine scene. We're going to geek out on a grape or grape fam, then hear about all the wild wine things our guests have been up to, from vineyard experiments to their favorite wine bars. Hello, buongiorno, everybody. You're tuning in to just another little episode of The Next Generation. Today, I'm very excited to take you to Friuli Venezia Giulia, not just the grape baby we'll be talking about from the Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0 book, but also with our very special guest, Francesca Nonino of the Nonino Grappa. Yes, she is so lovely to have her on and to talk about all the good Grappa things and more, because Grappa and wine, very close together. I know Grappa's a spirit, but we keep things dynamic on this podcast, so we're taking things just beyond wine, because what is Grappa made with? The must, the pomace, the leftover skins and bits from wine production. So, closing that circle, which we will talk about with Francesca. Very excited. But before that, we are going to talk a little bit about a grape native to Friuli Venezia Giulia, Picolite. Picolite is one of the oldest native varieties in Italy, and definitely not as famous as other white grapes, but has gained fame because it is quite a versatile varietal, and we'll get to that shortly. But it's particularly found in the provinces of Udine, where Nonino is located, and also Gorizia in the countryside. This Picolite has quite the noble history, and it was often enjoyed by royal courts of Europe. When it comes down to what it looks like in the glass, we see a bright gold color. The body obviously can range depending on how it's produced, but typically a medium plus body, always high acid, and it is described as a refined wine with finesse. Very noble Picolite. Her Majesty Picolite. Terrible joke. Moving on. So, Picolite produces off-dry to sweet wines as well as still wines, and is often monovarietal, meaning one grape making the wine in the bottle. Now, you will find Picolite made in the abbassimento style, aka the air-dried style, where the grapes are dried prior to pressing for sweet wines. They could also be hung to dry. The bunches may or may not have botrytis, the noble rot. Again, Picolite is very, very versatile in this way. It depends really on the producer, but overall, a very important grape for Italian wine history, more specifically, the history of Friuli Venezia Giulia. And like I said before, talking about Grappa, these skins and whatnot end up, some of them, in the Nonino distillery to produce Grappa. But one more little fun fact about Picolite before we go is that it has a few DOCs. So the first and only DOCG would be the Colli Orientali del Friuli Picolite, DOCG. Then you have Collio DOC and Friuli Colli DOC. And those are the facts about Mr. Picolite. Now it's Mr. or Her Majesty. I think Picolite is gender neutral, keeping it PC. So I think it's time for us to welcome on our wonderful, wonderful guest. And welcome, ciao Francesca. How are you?
So happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy to be here too. So where are you calling in from? Are you in Udine right now?
Yes, I'm in a small village nearby Udine, Percoto. It's 15 kilometers from Udine. And it's a tiny, cute village that I hope you're going to come visit because it's a place where all the Nonino history began, where we have the distillery, where I spent my childhood. So it's a place really dear to me.
Oh, that's so special. And do you like, you're such a traveler. I mean, obviously, like with your job as the Grappa influencer, do you get it to spend a lot of time back at home, or do you feel like you're away more often these days?
So, like, I feel like there was a big difference in these last couple of years because, of course, during COVID, it was a period where I've been home all the time and I missed travel so much. Now I'm starting to go back talking about the Grappa all over the world and well, it's beautiful. I love it so much, but I also feel like I need to recharge sometimes at home. So like I've been to Florida, Texas, New Orleans in the last month, and I will go back to the United States in July. Now I'm traveling around Italy. I did Bologna, Trento. I will go to Verona, of course, for in Italy, Dusseldorf for wine. So like lot of traveling, but I feel it's an enriching experience, and it's really beautiful to see how you can create connection, share something special with people talking about a spirit. You know, in a certain way, I think that when you're talking about a spirit that represents your culture, you're able to create deeper connection because it's like you're really sharing something special in a sort of way. I don't know if I can explain myself. Sometimes it can be tough in English.
No, you explained it beautifully. It's absolutely true because it's in your roots. You know, it's something that it's not just something that maybe defines where you're from historically. It's something you've seen at the table, right? Like from a young age. Like that's something that's always around. And it's like it's a way of wanting to connect with people. It's like, this is my thing, you know? Exactly. I think that's what's really awesome. Why I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. One of the reasons, many reasons, not just one, but is that I want people to actually know more about grappa. And of course, it has a major connection to wine, but like Italian spirits are, a whole other world and a really important one. And also to see a woman like yourself really leading the storytelling on grappa for me is amazing. Complimenti. Like I love it because as someone like I'm American and the spirits industry is still heavily male dominated. It's also International Women's Month still, which is awesome. And not to jump super into it, but like, how does it feel? Like, what challenges have you faced, leading the way as like a young, talented woman in the spirits industry, in the Italian spirits industry?
So like, thank you for this question and thank you for highlighting that. I think it's even if it's 2023, I think it's really still important to be able to discuss this because a lot of time people are like, yeah, but now we reach equality. I don't know, how do you say that in English?
Equality.
Equality, thank you. Equality, men and women. Just like, yeah, theoretically, but in practical, not so much. And I have big hope for the future because I think that in the younger generation, this is a really important topic, and it's just like younger kids are not willing to accept discrimination in any type of it, and I think that is beautiful. But working in this business when I was younger, it was a little bit tougher because even if I have a beautiful example of a female role in my family, I had my grandmother, my mom, my aunts, all of them are master distiller. All of them are working in the family business. My great grandmother was the first woman master distiller in Italy. So we had this type of female touch since since a long time. But I think that still nowadays, when you talk about spirit with people and you are a woman, there is this type of thing where, I don't know, in Italian, I call it, oh my God, I cannot even say in Italian, but it's just like people treat you like you have to prove them that you are a professional. Like, it's not like they meet you and they know that you are from a family business, as you're working in that business. So they think that, okay, so I think that she will be prepared about this topic. No, it's more like she needs to prove me that she knows what she's talking about. And I feel like this is the type of way of dealing that involve more women than men. And like, this is the reason why I decided to become a sommelier at WSET third level, because I wanted to be able to put those type of titles on my business card, to be able to be like, I'm a professional. I know what I'm talking about. I know Grappa. I know spirits. I know wine. I study them. Because before that, it was more like every time they tried to to ask me tricky questions to be able to see if I really was able to speak about this type of topic, or like people were not even looking at me. Like, I don't know how to express. It was almost like I was invisible when it was about a professional matter, when it was about work, or like if it was about doing a chat or like just share some, not important, non-relevant things about the business, people were looking at me, doing eye contact. Otherwise, they almost treat me like I was invisible. And it was tough sometimes, but I have to say that having the role of my family and the example of such amazing women working in the family business, I was like, okay, I don't deserve to be treated like that. I want to be treated as everybody else. I want to be treated as if I were a guy. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, I want them to give me the same kinds of possibility. I want them to treat me like I could be a professional as well, at least at the beginning, treat me as I was one. Give me the chance. I don't know if I.
No, exactly. It's like, having an opportunity, like, to be able to sit at the table in discussion, like, it shouldn't be discounted just by looking at you and being like, oh, she's a woman, she's a young woman, like, what could she know? You know what I mean? And having those associations, especially for someone like you, like you're saying, you have this really impressive lineage of strong-willed, dedicated, intelligent women leading your company. And it's still in this year, you're finding that it's like, oh, well, she's just the sixth generation, what does she know? She has this family business. Potentially people could say stuff like that, and it's like, hey, excuse me. You know what I mean? It's like, let me talk. And it's also, I think it's also just not even about like having as big of a chance as men. It's also like not even looking at the gender, right? It's like, all right, here's a person. By the way, just for, the audience to hear, Francesca, yeah, okay, she is the Grappa influencer but she also, you're a certified bartender. You're, like you said, certified sommelier. What else? You travel all the time. You do TED Talks. What don't you do? You know what I mean? So it's incredible. And I think it's really important. And I think it's so exciting to have more women leading the way there.
Yeah. And I think thank you for everything. But I also think that it's so important to have more example of women in this business, because I think that is the strongest thing you can give younger women to look up to, just to make them realize that it's possible. You can be a woman and be in this business and have important role. You can be a woman, a mother, and a CEO. I think that example is the strongest thing we can give, because it shows that it's possible. And I know that it can sound a little bit, how do you say, too much of sweetness in what I'm saying, but I believe that we need to remember that women did so much in just like 60, 70 years. It's just like we are the one that are setting the new standards about being a woman for the future generation. And I think that is amazing. And we need to really get the chance and take this opportunity to make the difference.
Absolutely. And I think it also comes down to like, and it's similar in the wine world where, historically speaking, women doing jobs that are more, manually labor driven, like, and more like, working in a distillery is not an easy thing. You're dealing with like, large forms of machinery. It's a mix of science and creativity and all these things. But going back to the whole, like, concept of manual labor, it's like, that's what I love is that, like, the wine industry, spirits, grappa, it shows like how multifaceted women are. And it's not that we have to do everything like always necessarily in the front of house, right? Like, it's like we can also be, creating these things that, maybe don't fall under this concept of, femininity or whatnot. And I think that's why I love working in this industry, right? It's like, it shows just how beautifully multifaceted women are and how we really can do anything.
I just believe that the whole concept about what is a female, feminine, what is masculine, it's too much of a big limit. I feel like that there is just like what you love to do, what you feel like you're able to do, what you feel like talented. And I think that talent doesn't have any type of gender. So I think that we need to rethink about this standard of what is being female, what is being male, and just being like what I can do with my talent, what a difference I can make. And I think that these things is becoming more and more real. And I think it's a big, big, big opportunity because like most of the time we discuss about how difficult it can be the work life for women, but at the end it can be like this type of standard really hurt men as well, because there are a lot of time men are not able to express themselves in a deeper way, showing their emotion because of this type of standard, what is female, what is male. And I think that trying to rediscuss all of that will bring a lot of new opportunities and new talent.
I agree. Yeah, it's exactly that, where it's not about, your gender. It's about what makes you shine as a human, because we're all so unique, right? Like, I think another reason why I love working in this industry is in the Italian food and beverage industry, is because it's like everyone has their own little, stellina in them. They're like, a little star in their own way and things that they're good at. And it's nothing that's ever defined by your gender. It's always like, and I think, and you're absolutely right. I think that like it limits everyone at the end of the day when you're assessed by that. And I think moving forward, it's especially for you and the work that you do is reminding, like, and I love that how much you put yourself out there, like with your face and connecting, like, really connecting with people, because it breaks down that, that wall of like, there's supposed to be this kind of image of somebody, you know what I mean? It's like, no, this is something I want to share with you. And hi, I'm here. And like, and I think it's really exciting. And I know that obviously social media is a major outlet right now. I'm not going to get into social media because that's a whole other topic in and of itself. And we could probably talk about that for another 2 hours. I'm really happy to see people like yourself just, push forward. And also, this is like a major side note. When you were talking about your family, and like the history of the generations of women, I have to say the photo of the, I think it was the promotion for the Monovitigno Grappa from like the 80s. I love that photo.
Thank you so much.
It's so beautiful.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local food, and taking in the scenery. Now back to the show.
My grandma used to say that Grappa is female because we we are all girl in the family. Of course, there is my grandfather, the master distiller, but it's incredible how many women are working for this for our family business. So like sometimes I don't know how to say that in English, but like in Italy they talk so much about the quote rosa, the pink rate, and my family said we need to put the blue rate because like we are just girls.
Absolutely. No, it's true. And it's like, and it's so fast. I don't know. It's like that photo is just like everyone's glowing and it's mostly women. Then that's your grandfather that's like nestled in there. Like,
yeah, I think it's like the people are glowing because they do like, you know, one thing that I love so much about Grappa and about the family history is the fact that my grandmother and my grandfather proved to the world that what was considered just a a poor spirit, a spirit created with leftover that people didn't thought and had any type of value, they proved us that if you distill with an artisanal method with fresh pounds of a single varietal, this spirit that was considered just fire water could turn into the soul, the essence of the grape put in the final glass. And they transformed this spirit from what was just fuel for poor people, for farmers, into a spirit that today represents Italian excellence all over the world. And I think it's so beautiful to see how passion, commitment to a product, to what you're doing can make the difference. And I think that is like the thing that make you glow in a sort of way when working is not just like, have a job, but it's in a sort of way a mission of your life, like to protect the quality of a product, to protect your family history, to show what something can really be if you treat that thing with respect and love. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like the farmers knew something, right? I mean, it's in the beauty of like, and especially in Italy, is like it all comes down to, the necessity and the creativity of like the poorer classes in the past, and like really creating something out of nothing. And it's also creating something that's ultra sustainable, because you're not trying to, create something new. You have to use what you have. And I think it's a really beautiful thing, because it brings together, Grappa brings together so many elements in the, I hate to say Italian because that's really general. Obviously, like Grappa is more from a specific area, but in a sense, everyone's making Grappa now. Like even if like they're in, actually, I was just telling you, I was at a winery and they make Grappa, and they make it in Brescia, but they, send their pomace up there. And it's like, it closes that circle and it like brings people together. I don't know if that sounds too romantic, but like,
and I think it's beautiful just to see the circular, how of a circular economy Grappa is, because like you take the leftover of wineries, you distill them, and you create this spirit that is amazing. But also, you do not create any leftover, because with the distilled pomace, you can use them for fertilizer, for heating. And so, like for example, my grandma used the distilled pomace we distill for making Grappa for fertilizing her garden, and she grows these beautiful, beautiful tomatoes, and she makes the best tomato sauce in the world. So you need to come with us. So you will have the best Grappa, and after that, the best tomato pasta of your life. I'm sorry, I know that you are from Lazio, and etc., etc. The food there is amazing as well, but the tomato pasta, with the tomato sauce of my grandmother is just like unbelievable. I will send you a picture of the tomatoes just to make you a little bit more
jealous. I'm like books my trip to Udine like right now. Like I'm on Trenitalia. Yeah. I'm looking it up. Oh my gosh, that just sounds so. Yeah, I love a good pomodoro, a good tomato pasta. And so you said that she fertilizes with the pomace, or did you say the distillate?
The distilled pomace. So after the pomace that were used for creating the spirit, instead of just being fertilizer. And I believe that the tomatoes grow so big and delicious because they grow with all the love that we put into making Grappa. I have this idea, and I think that we will be able to prove it when you're gonna try our tomato pasta.
Oh, I will be the taste tester. That's just amazing. And it's also so amazing because it takes that closing the circle, the circular economy, to like another step. Because it's like the Grappa already closes it because you're using the pomace, but then taking that used pomace and then putting it into the earth again is like the final, step. Like that's so, see, I think like and I know COVID in a way with people being home kind of pushed this forward more, but I think reminding like how everything really does come down to the earth, you know what I mean? And like understanding where everything you consume comes from. And because I think in obviously wine is a perfect example of that, but looking at Grappa and any kind of spirit is just as important, because people drink a lot, you know what I mean? And no one's, for example, like when people have a whiskey at a bar, they're not thinking, oh, where are the grains grown and how is this affecting the, farmers and whatnot. But I love, like, especially with your work of like giving the educational side, is seeing, okay, like this is not just a spirit, this is not just going to make me regret what I did last. It's something that is connected to, the ground that I walk on. I know, Paul, that's more romantic. The ground that I walk on. All right, that sounds like a quote from the Bible.
I think that what made me really happy about the nowadays and also thinking about future generation is that for now people prefer to drink less but to drink better, and I think that is awesome because we're all about drinking responsible. But also I think that nowadays for consumer, drinking is just not about drinking. It's about experiencing the history of the product, the history of the family or the producer that made it, what that spirit represents. It's about the experience. It's just not drinking. It's just like sharing culture, sharing emotion, sharing history in a sort of way. And I think it gives a lot of new opportunity for this business, and also to brand that put a lot of energy into quality and into telling their story. Also to smaller brand, I think it's really beautiful. Also because people that work in this business, even bartender are like so knowledgeable about spirit and about the cocktail they're making. They really want to make you experience that product, and in a certain way, it's just like when I try, for example, a cocktail with our grappa, it's just like I hear all over again a different type of story about my own product in a sort of way, because like you mix our grappa with different ingredients and you're telling a new stuff. I don't know. You put for example, in this case, it's a cocktail with Amaro Nonino and bourbon, but pepper plain, the amazing pepper plain. You mix together Amaro Nonino and bourbon and apple and lemon juice, and you share together a story of Italian culture, of American culture, only in the same glass in a sort of way, about trying to look for different type of taste, equilibrio nel gusto, bitterness, sweetness. I don't know, like I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a little cultural fusion. It's like me and a cocktail. It's a little Italian, a little American. That's the beauty. Is it's like culture. It's like where these, you combine these different things, and it's not always, a homogenous. It's like bringing different elements together and inspiring yourself, especially for you.
Also, you know why? Like one thing that I love so much about tasting grappa with different culture is the fact that every one of us, I know I'm a sommelier at WSET level, so what I'm about to say is a little bit against what I studied, but this is what I really believe, is that the tasting experience changed so much. It's just like because it changed within the type of taste you experience in your childhood. So what you were used to drink or taste. And so like when I go travel around the world and offer grappa, people are able to tell me that are tasting stuff that I wasn't able to taste, or they smell stuff that I wasn't able to smell. I remember one time I drink a Moscato grappa with this Japanese journalist, and he was telling me that he was smelling green tea in it, and I never smelled green tea, but now I'm always able to smell green tea. And so in a certain way, even when you're tasting with different culture, when a bartender make a cocktail, they're able to highlight different notes that you weren't able to appreciate. And so it makes your own experience richer. And I love it because it's just every time that I travel and I offer Grappa Nonino to people, it's almost like I experienced for the first time my own product and fell in love with it all over again. And so I want to do that more and more.
Oh no, that's lovely. It shows how, Grappa spirits wine, it's not just objectively what it is, like the aromas, it's so personal, the experience. And it's one of the most beautiful things, and how much nostalgia just like a smell of something can bring back of those memories, and being able to share that. No, that's so beautiful.
Oh, the word nostalgia.
Huh?
Yeah. I love the word nostalgia. Yeah, I agree completely. It's just like it's the power of smell, of taste. It's just like can bring you back to your childhood into a completely different place, as you said to me even before with the winery thing. So it's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the only way we can actually teleport. Like, we can't literally teleport, but I think those elements are the closest we'll get to it.
Yeah, oh my God, I love that. So every time you're gonna be able to drink Grappa Nonino, you're gonna be able to teleport into our distillery. I hope that you're gonna be able to come, so because you cannot teleport with the pasta thing.
I will now. I'll figure out a way. So we're winding down on time. I know you gotta run, and I gotta run, but I wanted to finish off really quickly with questions for you to answer briefly. If you can name a few spots, local spots in Udine, if someone was to come to visit you, where would you take them?
So, like, if you're ever gonna come to Udine, I would first thing will bring you to visit us in our distillery. So we will do all the tour, artisanal distillation, aging cellar, all the tasting, cocktail. Woo, cheers! Then we're gonna go to lunch. We would go to lunch or to Palmanova to experience the beautiful City Star, because it's called City Star because it is inside of some walls that are have the shape of a star. From there, we could go or to Cividale del Friuli, where we would experience the beautiful medieval city, and we would have a beautiful coffee break, caffè corretto, of course, with a slice of banana, typical dessert from Friuli Venezia Giulia. And then we would be able to go to Grado, that is called the Friulano Venezia, Venezia Friulana, because it's this tiny, beautiful city on the sea. We would be able to look at the sunset. I would bring you all to have to have amazing raw fish and sardine sour, another typical meal from our region, or il boreto that is like polenta and fish stew, no fish fish soup or so, a sort of thing like that is delicious. Or I would bring you to Lingoldo to have the best club sandwich of your life. So if you want to have the best club sandwich of your life, it's in Grado. Every time I go there, I have a club sandwich. And then, oh my God, then we would or go to sleep in Grado, just look at the sunset, do a beautiful walk on the nearby the sea. And the day after, we would go visit Trieste. Trieste, how do you say? La capitale della Mitteleuropa, the Mitteleuropa capital. It's just like this amazing city in front of the sea. You need to see Piazza Unità d'Italia. That is this plaza where you can have a beautiful coffee looking at the sea, and then you can experience this city that is a beautiful melting pot of three different cultures: the Friulano, Italian, Slovenian culture, Austrian culture, and it's just like so beautiful. And then, if we would have time, we would have to go visit the mountains and do some canyoning to experience also the river of Friuli Venezia Giulia. They are so beautiful. And then we would eat some more and drink some more. Also, amazing white wines, because our region is so amazing for white wine. So, like, you need to come.
I mean, you just sold me. You're just like, we're going to drink and then we're going to eat and we're going to see beautiful things and then we're going to drink and eat some more. And I'm like, I'm already here. It's already booked. It's already done. Oh my gosh. I wish we could sit and chat for so much longer but that's why I did book my trip. So we'll do that some more. But I want to say thank you so much, Francesca, for coming on the podcast today and sharing a little bit about your story.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. And thank you so much. Like, I really feel like this experience enriched me. So thank you so much for this chat with me. It was really beautiful to have your point of view. It made a difference. So thank you.
Oh, that touched my heart. Being able to talk to you was so lovely, and I look forward to chatting soon. And everyone check out Francesca Nonino on Instagram. If you haven't, she's awesome, and I'm going to send her off to her doctor's appointment now. Grazie ancora, Francesca.
Thank you so much, and please come visit us. The best club of the world and the best tomato pasta in the same experience. Woo!
All right, grazie.
Grazie di cuore, a presto. Mwah! From Udine.
As always, a big grazie for hanging out with me today. Remember, you can catch me every Sunday on the Italian Wine Podcast, available anywhere you can get your pods.